So do you also use Google Forms to get the webinar registrations? Then this video is definitely for you. So hello all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect, and in this video we are going to understand how to add or update Zoho campaign subscriber on Google Forms submission. So over here I manage a edutech company and we regularly conduct webinars for the same, and we use Google Forms to get the registrations of all the webinars. So now what I want is that as soon as someone registers for my webinar, automatically with the help of the same registrant details, a new subscriber should be created or updated in my Zoho campaigns too, so that we can create targeted email marketing campaigns for all of the registrants. So to do this, we are going to create a connection between Google Forms and Zoho campaigns. To create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So do you also wish to learn this process step by step? Then let me take you to my computer screen. Welcome to my screen everyone. So as you know, in this video we had to learn about how to add or update Zoho campaign subscriber on Google Forms submission. So as I've already mentioned in my introduction, I manage an edutech company that frequently conduct webinars and online workshops. So to streamline our communication, we want to set up an automation that automatically adds or updates Zoho campaign subscribers whenever someone submits a form to register with the help of Google Forms. This integration ensures that the registration details are instantly added to my Zoho campaign list, enabling us to send timely reminders, resources and follow-ups. But as you know that Google Form doesn't provide any native connection with Zoho campaigns. In order to create a connection between Google Forms and Zoho campaigns, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software, as I've already mentioned in my introduction. So yes, in order to create this connection, I've already opened the landing page of Pabbly simply by searching pabbly.com/connect in my browser. It is very easy. So as soon as we're going to open the landing page of Pabbly, we're going to get two options. One is sign in and the other one is sign up for free. So if you're a user, you can click on sign up for free and you're going to get 100 of tasks free every month. But over here I'm an existing user, so I'm going to click on sign in, and as soon as we're going to click on sign in, it is opening all Pabbly apps. Over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly, but in today's video we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm going to click on access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connect account, and as soon as I'm going to click on access now, it is opening my dashboard. And to start with this automation, we are going to click on this button which says create workflow, and now it is asking for the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So over here I want to save the workflow in this folder which says automations, and on my dashboard you can see multiple folders which I have already created in which I save my workflows. And if you wish to learn how to create a new folder or a subfolder, you can click on this hyperlink given right over here which says learn more. And now it is asking me for the workflow name, so I want the workflow name to be this, which says how to add or update Zoho campaign subscribers on Google Forms submission, Google Forms to Zoho campaigns. And then we are going to click on create, and as soon as we're going to click on create, it is opening the most important window for automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the trigger is the commander for the workflow and actions follow the commands. And as you know that we can have only a single commander but multiple followers, so over here we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of our trigger. And by this you can finally understand that the actions are response towards the commands given by a trigger. And in order to start with our automation, we have to select our trigger application. So for my trigger application, I'm going to select it as Google Forms because I want that as soon as a new form submission is made in my Google Forms, automatically my workflow should be triggered. And now it is asking for the trigger event, so I'm going to select it as new response received. And as soon as I'm going to select the trigger event, it is giving me a webhook URL. So what we are going to do is we are going to use the same webhook URL in order to create a connection between our Google Forms account and our Pabbly's workflow. So I'm just going to copy this webhook URL right from here, and then we're going to follow this help text, and it is saying log into your Google Forms account on which you want to take the submission. Make sure that the last question is required for the trigger. Okay, so as you can see that this is my form I want to create this automation for, and as you can see the last question is already set to required. So this is a really important step. You have to set the last question to required. Okay, and after opening my form, what we have to do is we have to go on responses, and after coming on responses you can see view in sheets right over here. But if you haven't linked your Google Forms with your sheets, you're going to get the option of link with sheets, and as soon as you're going to link it with sheets, you're going to option of view in sheets. And as soon as you're going to click on this view in sheets right over here, yes, you can see that it is opening my spreadsheet where we have the details of all the form submission. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to create a connection between Google Forms and our Pabbly's workflow using this spreadsheet. Okay, so I'm going to go on extensions, add on, and then get add-ons. And now we are going to add an extension extension right over here in the sheet. Okay, so I'm going to search for the extension which is Pabbly Connect Webhooks. So I'm going to search for Pabbly Connect Webhooks, and as you can see the same, so we're going to select it. And as you can see that I've already installed this extension which is Pabbly Connect Webhooks, and over here that's why it is showing me the option of uninstall. But if you haven't installed this, you're going to install it right from here. And after installing this extension, we have to refresh your spreadsheet. It is a very important step to refresh the spreadsheet, otherwise you'll not be going to get the option of Pabbly Connect Webhooks right over here. And after getting the option of Pabbly Connect Webhooks right over here, we have to go on this initial setup. And after coming on to initial setup, it is asking me for the sheet name, webhook URL and the trigger column. So for the sheet name, I'm going to select it as this only, which is form responses 1. And now for the webhook URL, we are going to paste the URL which we copied from our workflow. And now it is asking me for the trigger column. So it is saying the trigger column will be your final data column. So now you know that why we made this last question as required, because that is our trigger column right over here in our spreadsheet. Okay, so I'm going to keep my trigger column as I. You have to keep it as you desire. And after doing this, we are going to click on submit. And as soon as we're going to click on submit, yes, you can see setup configured successfully. So yes, with this, we have successfully connected our Google Forms account in our Pabbly's workflow. But now it is saying waiting for a webhook response, and in the notes it is saying do a test submission / record. So in order to capture this webhook response, we have to do a test submission or record. So what we have to do is I'm going to submit a form which I recently connected with my workflow, and then Pabbly is going to capture the response for the same. Okay, so but before doing the test submission, we are going to back to our spreadsheet from extensions, Pabbly Connect Webhooks. Over here you can see the button of send on event. So we have to switch on this button right from here. It is really important to switch on this button right from here, because what will happen is that as soon as the new event will occur on this spreadsheet, automatically the details would be sent to our workflow or to the webhook URL which we have added. That's why we have switched on this button right over here. And after switching on this button, I'm going to open my form and click on preview form so that we can do the test submission. Okay, so it is asking for the details. So let's suppose for the first name, I'm going to keep it as demo. For the last name, we are going to keep it as user right over here. We are going to move on forward. Over here for the email, I'm going to keep it as demoUser@pabblytunes.com. And now for the phone number, I'm going to keep the phone number as this. And after entering this, we're going to move on forward. For the organization, I'm going to keep it as Pabbly Tunes right over here. We're going to move on forward. Dietary restrictions as none. Over here it is saying specific area of automation you are most curious about, social media automation. It is saying how did you hear about this webinar. I'm going to keep it as social media. It is saying current automation experience. No, I don't have any, so I'm going to keep it as none. And now after entering none right over here, we're going to click on submit. And as soon as we're going to click on submit, yes, you can see you have successfully registered, right? So yes, with this we have successfully registered for the webinar, and with this we have successfully did the test submission. And now what has happened is that Google Form has sent the details of our test submission to our workflow. So I'm going to open my workflow and check that if Pabbly has captured the response, and yes, you can see that Pabbly has captured the response. Over here you can see the same details which we entered. You can see the phone number, you can see the organization, you can see the last name, you can see the social media, demo which is the first name, you can see the email, dietary restrictions, current automation experience. So yes, you can see these details are the same details we entered in our test submission. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our trigger step. And now what will happen is that as soon as we receive a new registration with the help of our Google Forms for a webinar, automatically Pabbly is going to capture the registrant details and trigger this workflow. And now further what I want is I want to add or update Zoho campaign subscriber with the same details, right? So for the action application, I'm going to select it as Zoho campaigns. So I'm going to search for Zoho campaigns, and as you can see the same, so we're going to select it. And now for the action event, we are going to select it as add or update a subscriber and click on connect. And as soon as I'm going to click on connect, it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your Zoho campaigns account with your Pabbly's workflow, you can click on select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and then we have to click on this button which says connect with Zoho campaigns. And as soon as I'm going to click on this button, it is asking me for the domain. And to get this domain, I'm going to open my Zoho campaigns account, and as you can see that this is the URL which we have got. Okay, and after Zoho we can see .com. So this is my domain right over here, which is zoho.com. Okay, so I'm going to copy this domain right from here, and then I'm going to paste it right over here in our workflow under the domain. So you can see your domain can be anything: zoho.com, zoho.com.au, zoho.eu, zoho.in, zoho.com.cn. So you have to copy your domain right from here in the URL and paste it right over here in the domain, and then we have to click on save. And as soon as I'm going to click on save right over here, yes, you can see that Pabbly is asking me for some permissions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on accept and give Pabbly all the permissions it is asking for, because my data is secure with Pabbly. You can also click on accept, Pabbly is safe. And as soon as you're going to click on accept, yes, you can see authorization successful. With this, we have successfully connected our Zoho campaigns account with our Pabbly's workflow. And now it is asking me for the mailing list. So here it is asking me for the which mailing list I want to create this automation. Over here I want to create this automation for this mailing list, which is event registrants. You're going to select your desired mailing list right over here, and after selecting my list we are going to move on forward. It is asking for the email, first name, last name, company name, phone, address, and many another details of my registrant. Okay, so we have received these details right over here in the response of our Google Forms. We are going to enter the same details in the Zoho campaigns only. Like you can see, first name, last name, email. So we are going to enter these same details right over here only in the Zoho campaigns, but we are not going to copy paste it or enter it manually, but instead we are going to map it. So you must be wondering, what is mapping, right? So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step, and as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Google Forms as our trigger application. So we're going to map the details from the response of our trigger application only, and as soon as we're going to map these details, automatically my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. So over here I'm going to give you an example that it's asking me for the contact email, right? So let's suppose we're going to enter the contact email right over here manually by typing it like this. Then this will not change with every new response received because this is a static information and we have entered it manually. But if we're going to map this from the previous response, suppose I'm going to open the previous response, and as you can see the email. So let's suppose we're going to map this from the previous response, then this will definitely change because my previous response will also change. So that's why we do mapping right over here to run our workflow in real time. So same, we are going to map the first name to, as you can see demo, we are going to map it. We are going to move forward, map the last name right over here. You can see the same, so we're going to map it. Over here for the company name, we are going to map the company name. I'm going to look for it, and as you can see the same, so we're going to map it. We are going to map the phone number. So I'm going to search for phone number in the previous response, and as you can see the same, so we're going to map it. And after mapping all of the details which were required, we are going to move in forward right from here and click on this button which says save and send test request. If you wish, you can definitely fill all of these rest details too. And as soon as you're going to click on save and send test request, yes, you can see that we have received a positive response. It is saying a confirmation email has been sent to user. User needs to confirm to successfully subscribe. Okay, so yes, with this we have successfully received a positive response that we successfully sent an email to the user so that they can subscribe. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to check my email and accept the subscription right from here. So I'm going to open my email, and over here you can see the subscription confirmation email. Okay, so I'm going to click on this button which is confirm subscription, and as soon as we're going to click on this button which says confirm subscription, yes, you can see you are all set now. So yes, it is saying thank you for joining our mailing list. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my Zoho campaigns and check for the new subscriber created. I'm going to refresh the subscribers page and check for the new subscriber created with the same details received from the registration of Google Forms. Okay, and yes, you can see a new subscriber has been created. You can see the contact email, first name, last name, company name. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow, and now what I'll just do is I'm going to test this workflow once, and this time I'm going to give you a real-time example. So I'm going to open my form again, and we're going to do another test submission. Okay, I'm going to open this preview form. We are going to enter the details once again. So for the first name, I'm going to keep it as test, last name as user only. We are going to move on forward. For the email, I'm going to keep it as testuser55@pabblytudes.com. For the phone number, I'm going to keep it as this. For the organization, let's suppose I'm going to keep it as con right over here, and then we are going to move on forward. Over here it is asking me for the dietary restrictions. I'm going to keep it as vegetarian. For the specific areas, I'm going to keep it as data automation. And how did you hear about this webinar? I'm going to keep it as email, newsletter, or let's suppose website. Okay, and now it is saying current automation experience. I'm going to keep it as no, and then we're going to click on submit. And as soon as we're going to click on submit, yes, you can see that we have registered successfully. And now what has happened is that Google Form has sent the details of our test submission to our workflow. Pabbly captured the response, triggered the workflow, and further sent in confirmation mail to our registrant that if they want to subscribe to our Zoho campaign list or not. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my mail again, and once again we are going to confirm the subscription. And yes, you can see another mail received which is saying dear test. Okay, so I'm going to confirm subscription right over here once again, and as soon as we're going to confirm the subscription, yes, you can see you are all set now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my Zoho campaigns. We are going to refresh the subscribers and check for the new subscriber created right now with the same details which we entered in our test submission. And yes, you can see a new subscriber created. You can see the email, the first name, the last name, and the company name. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow, and now what will happen is that as soon as a new response is received from my Google Forms, which is as soon as a new people registered for my webinar, automatically they're going to send a mail for the subscription. Okay, and as soon as they're going to confirm the subscription, they're going to add as a subscriber right over here in my Zoho campaigns account. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow, and now I'll just summarize this workflow for you once. So for the trigger application, we selected Google Forms. For the trigger event, we selected new response received. For the action application, we selected Zoho campaigns, and then for the action event, we selected add or update a subscriber, because I wanted that as soon as someone registers for my webinar right over here, automatically they should be added to our mailing list without any manual efforts. And yes, we were successful with our workflow too, so that we can create targeted email marketing campaigns for all of our registrants. And yes, this was it for the video, and if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. And for your reference, I'll just clone this workflow and share the workflow link in the description box so that you can access my workflow. I hope this video was helpful for you. Thank you for watching. So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can integrate many more applications. So if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this website. And if you find our videos helpful, do like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.